Hey planner friends! Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be planning from the 10th to the 16th of April in my Hemlock Oak weekly. Let's get started! So the kit that I'm using this week is Lavender Fields from Plannerface. It's a little bit brighter than the pastel kit that I used last week for Easter, but it's still perfect for spring. I do PR for Plannerface, so you can use my code in the description to save yourselves a little bit of money and also mention me for a freebie. I think this kit came out last summer and I really loved it when it came out, but I knew that I wanted to use it in April as April is my purple theme colour month, so I've held on to it for a few months and now is the time to use it. As always, I'm starting with my sidebar, so I've coloured in the week that we're on in the mini calendar with my purple passion marker, my theme colour for April. I'm then adding in the squared off half box with some deco from the kit for my weekly focus. I've then got a decorative box and a glitter header just to fill in a little bit of space. I've then got my habit tracker for my daily check-in with my planner, the Monday to Sunday box to mark in all of my meals for the week, and then finally a 3-hut checklist box at the bottom for little tasks that go throughout the week that don't necessarily have a specific day attached to them. So far this sidebar in this planner is working really well for me. I have done a few different little variations depending on whether I have a toolbox to fit in as well, but the actual elements of the sidebar have stayed pretty consistent since I started using it. So I've already added in all of my date covers and I'm just adding in my date dots for the days of the week. I'm still using the date dots version 2 from Plannerface, which came in my advent countdown box, and mostly I'm using these on my weekly spreads because the font matches the font on the Plannerface date covers. I've then cut one of the 15mm strips of washi from the kit in half and I'm using that to create my divide between my vertical planning space and my reflection section along the bottom. I can then move on to my glitter headers and add in any birthdays that are happening this week. So as always for my glitter headers and my date covers, I've trimmed like 1mm off the side before I start putting them down so that I can trim 1mm off the side of all of them all in one go on the sticker paper. On Tuesday it was a friend's birthday, so I'm adding in a little thing before the glitter header with a little birthday present doodle that is left over in my stash. And then on Friday we had Kel's new planner's birthday, so I'm marking that again with a little thing and the birthday balloon doodle from the kit. Once we get to the weekend, it was just the normal Saturday and Sunday this week, so I'm adding the other 15mm strip of washi across Saturday and Sunday, and then layering over the weekend banner. With the weekend banners from Plannerface, I've started cutting both the flags off either side of the word weekend, just because with the spacing in this planner, if I did include the entire weekend banner, it would actually go off the side of the page after Sunday. Next I can add in all of my decorative boxes to the kit, so as always I've trimmed 1mm off the side of each of these and then I'm trimming them vertically on the planner once they're stuck down, which is kind of the opposite of how I used to do it in my passion planner, and I just got really weirded out trying to say that sentence. As usual, I've planned out where all of these decorative boxes are going in advance on my iCal before I start setting up my spread, which is how I know when I need to trim them vertically so that I have enough space for all of my plans for the day. For the decorative boxes in this kit, I really wanted to use this double box scene because that house is just super cute, and of course I had to use the doggy decorative box because when there's a dog in a planner kit, it's going in my planner. So that's the base of my spread all done. Now we can move on to my plans for the week. Zooming in and starting on Monday, I'm first marking in that it was Easter Monday using this script from Tilly Journals and an Easter egg doodle from Plannerface. The first thing that I planned on doing this morning was going to B&Q to pick up some stuff for painting our garage, so I'm adding in a fancy label with a little shopping bag doodle which I think is left over from a monthly kit to mark that in. The main thing that we were doing on Easter Monday was starting to paint the inside of our garage for part of our garage project that we've got going on at the moment, so I'm adding in a full box with the Stick with the Planco girl who has already got herself covered in paint to mark that in. Pretty proud of myself that I didn't end up looking like the Stick with the Planco girl and I didn't make too much of a mess. On Monday evening I was planning on going to team training, so I'm using a squished half box from the kit with a Coffee Monsters co-emoti who is at the gym to mark that in. Normally I would use a half box for this, but I wanted to have enough space during this day to add in like my checklist and anything else that might happen during the day, so I went with a squished half box just because this day wasn't really on the timelines anyway. For my little to-do list this day, I've marked it using a vanilla changing the bedding and also a blob of my theme colour for the month. We can then move on to Tuesday where I was working from home, so I'm using this work from home script from Plannerface over the glitter header, and then I had an entire day dedicated to my portfolio day today, so I'm using a vanilla who is crying a stack of paperwork and a squared off half box from the kit to mark that in. At the end of my workday, I'm using a little thing and a Coffee Monsters co-emoti banging their head on their laptop to mark in that I was getting feedback from that interview I had a couple of weeks ago. And I got the job, which is amazing, but I have to finish my portfolio before I can start it, so it feels a little bit anticlimactic at the moment. This week for my work checklists, I'm using Stick with the Planko girls either at their laptop or at their keyboard, depending on whether I'm in work or not that day. And then for Tuesday evening, I used another Coffee Monsters Co emoji just to mark in a space for my to-do list in the evening. Moving on to Wednesday, I'm marking in my usual Wednesday afternoon seminar with the quarter box and the laptop doodle from the kit. And then this is the only day where you can see the end of my workday on the timeline, so I'm just using a double line of my passion marker to finish off my workday. On Wednesday evening, I'm marking in my to-do list using a bit of deco from the kit, and then I'm using a Pinky Stickers printable to mark in doing some yoga at home. I was definitely after something slow and stretchy this day after doing painting and team training on Monday. I was feeling a little bit sore at the beginning of this week. Next, I'm moving on to Thursday, where I'm marking in my second weight session of the week using a Pinky Stickers printable, and then I'm going to mark in working from home using another work from home script from Plannerface. On this day at work, I had a little assessment with the training lead from my team just to add a little bit of evidence into my portfolio, so marking that in with a skinny event label and the envelope doodle from the kit. I can then add in another one of my Stick with the Planko girls for my checklist for work that day, and then we can move on to Thursday evening, where I'm first using a bin doodle from Plannerface to mark in taking the bins out as part of my to-do list for the evening, and then I'm using a half box with a Stick with the Planko girl eating a burger to mark in that I went out for drinks and dinner with some friends this evening. So I stayed up a little bit past my bedtime. Friday was a little bit of a struggle because I hadn't had quite as much sleep as I normally would have before I go into work, but we'll get over it. Friday at work was one of those days where you just watch all of the work come in that you can't do yet and know that next week is going to be super busy, so not super excited about that. But we didn't have anything to do on Friday evening, so I've left that pretty much blank, and now we can move on to Saturday, where I'm first using two half boxes flipped over onto their side and layered over each other with a Coffee Monsters Co workout emoji to mark in team training. Before team training, I'm using a third box from the kit with a bit of deco and an edit script from Plannerface to mark in editing and recording this voiceover. And then after team training, I'm going to be doing my usual planning time. So I've got a flag with the planner doodle from the kit and a planning script from Plannerface to mark that in as well. So I'm back on my normal routine for this Saturday, and that seems to really work for me at the moment because I've pretty much got my voiceover done every Saturday since I started doing it this way round, whereas I used to always struggle and end up doing it on Sunday instead. I then got to my usual Saturday evening half box and realised that I'd used up pretty much all of the half boxes in the kit, so I decided to use a squished half box and some deco to mark in whatever we get up to this evening. I used to always use a half box for Saturday evenings because it fitted between where I would write dinner and the end of the timelines in my passion planner, and I've just kept that going in this planner and there's no real reason for it, so we'll see if I like this little change. Moving on to Sunday, I'm first marking in my checklist using the vacuum doodle from the kit, and then I'm marking in picking up my click and collect with an event label and the grocery doodle from the kit. I'm then going to mark in uploading this video using a skinny event label with a YouTube button icon from Ickle & Co and an upload script in Plannerface. I really need to get some more of these YouTube button icons because I'm definitely running out at this point. And then I'm finishing off Sunday by adding in my last weight session of the week with another Pinky Stickers printable. So now I'm just adding in all of the dots to all of my checklists as usual using my Pilot Friction pen, and then I can fill in all of my plans for the week using the same pen. So this week has actually been super positive. I was really happy with how our garage is coming along on Monday, and we got a paint sprayer, so it was really fun to kind of spray the paint around instead of just painting it with rollers and stuff. We're painting on breeze blocks, so the texture is really annoying and we're never going to get like a perfect finish, but I'm really happy with how it's looking so far because they're not just bare breeze blocks anymore. I've also had some really positive portfolio days this week, so I was worried that I was just going to not be able to focus on any of the days that I have protected to solidly do this work, but I got so much done on Tuesday, and then on Friday, because I was just waiting for all of these samples to come in to be analysed next week, I actually got a decent amount of portfolio work done on Friday as well, and I'm feeling like the end is in sight, although there is still a lot of work to go between now and it being finished. It's quite a struggle to put 7 years worth of work into 150 pages and make sure that you're covering all your bases. Outside of work and our garage project, I've also had just a generally pretty good week. I had a really lovely evening on Thursday catching up with my friends and also eating some delicious food and having a couple of cocktails. And then for my training this week, I've had another really good training week, feeling super strong at the moment, and I did a clean and jerk PB on Thursday, which I'm super proud of because I wasn't technically supposed to do it, but I saw my chance and I took it. So yeah, I'm feeling really positive at the moment, although I've got a couple of really busy weeks and months ahead of me trying to get all my portfolio stuff done and little projects at home and stuff. I feel like now that the sun is out a little bit, that is also helping a lot, so there's a bit less seasonal depression going on. As always, I am a little bit worried that at some point this motivation that I've got at the moment is just going to disappear completely and I'm going to have to rely solely on like my routines and discipline again, but for now I'm riding this wave of feeling positive and feeling motivated. My focus for this week was just portfolio work because this was the first protected day of work that I had to work on my portfolio, and also I was feeling so ready to get it done now that I've got my interview feedback and actually have my band 7 role all lined up. But that is everything for my pre-planning. Let's take a look at the finished spread. So here is the spread all filled out, and I really love the colours in this kit. I'm so glad that I decided to use this bright colourful springy kit, although it did rain a lot this week and was kind of grey. I also feel like I'm using way more half boxes in my spreads at the moment because I've just got some big chunky things taking up loads of time, and I'm not mad about it, it's just a bit weird for my style of planning at the moment. I think Reggie agrees as well. So that's everything for this video, friends. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments down below. Drop the video a like if you enjoyed it, and if you're new here, don't forget to subscribe. I'll see you next time. Bye!